In the earliest hours, the garden turns toward the home as though listening. The wooden face of the house holds the pale first light, reflecting it softly back across the narrow strip of green that separates dwelling from sky. Shadows rest long and undisturbed along the low hedge, their edges dissolving where sunlight meets quiet earth. Each breath of air moves without hurry, touching leaves just enough to remind them of presence without disturbing their composure. The space feels held, enclosed by the familiar lines of roof and wall on one side, by the gentle curve of planted boundary on the other. Nothing asks to be noticed. The light simply arrives, stays for a while, and moves on without announcement. Time here is measured in the slow shift of warmth across familiar ground, in the way the house and garden regard one another across this small, unspoken distance. Every element remains where it has always been, patient and complete. As the hours unfold, the light changes its quality without ever raising its voice. Now the sun stands higher, sending slender beams through the canopy to find the path in quiet fragments. The house receives this cooler illumination with the same calm acceptance it offered the warmer tones earlier. Between the two, the garden holds its breath, allowing space for light to rest on leaf and stone alike. No movement feels urgent. The boundary planting draws a soft line that keeps the world at a gentle remove, preserving the small sanctuary where house and garden meet. Each shaft of light appears to pause, to consider the surface it has found, before continuing its slow journey. The atmosphere remains one of unspoken companionship, a conversation carried out in degrees of brightness and shadow rather than in words. Here, stillness is not emptiness but fullness held in careful reserve. Midday arrives without fanfare. The light has become even and generous, touching everything with the same tender clarity. The path leading to the home's quiet door feels like a held breath between two familiar silences. On either side, the planting draws inward, creating a corridor of green that belongs entirely to this house. Nothing extends beyond the intimate scale. The doorway waits in patient shadow while light rests on the ground before it, neither demanding attention nor withdrawing. Every surface receives illumination equally, allowing the eye to wander without effort or destination. The atmosphere is one of deep domestic calm, where the simple act of facing the home becomes its own quiet ceremony. Time passes in the gradual warming of stone, in the subtle shift of leaf shadow across leaf shadow, in the enduring presence of things that need no explanation. Afternoon light arrives from the opposite direction, wrapping the garden in a gentle halo. From the threshold of the home itself, the space reveals its quiet depth. Foliage catches light along its edges, creating delicate outlines against the softer interior shadows. The path retreats gradually toward the boundary, each step marked by the same unhurried pace that governs the entire scene. The house stands behind the camera, its presence felt rather than seen, offering silent enclosure. This reversed perspective reveals how perfectly the garden is held, how carefully it has been shaped to turn toward the familiar facade. Light moves across the surfaces in slow waves, touching, lingering, departing without haste. The atmosphere remains one of profound stillness, where every element knows its place and rests within it completely. As day approaches its gentle close, the light turns warm and forgiving. The entire small garden glows with amber that seems to come from within as much as from above. The home's facade receives this final gift with quiet dignity, its wooden surface deepened to honeyed tones. Shadows lengthen once more, stretching across the path in soft violet. The boundary planting catches the last strong rays along its outer edges, creating a luminous frame for the intimate space within. Everything appears suspended in this tender hour, held between departure and arrival. The atmosphere is one of profound peace, where the simple act of facing the home becomes a meditation on belonging, on the beauty of things that remain constant through changing light. Evening settles quietly. The sky deepens to velvet blue while the last remnants of daylight linger in the garden. From within the home, soft, warm light begins to appear behind windows, creating small pools of gold that face outward toward the cooling green. The path between them holds both qualities at once, neither fully day nor fully night. The enclosed space feels even more intimate now, wrapped in twilight's gentle hush. Every leaf and stone rests in the balance of fading light and rising warmth. The atmosphere carries a sense of homecoming without movement, of quiet reunion across the small domestic threshold. Nothing stirs, everything simply is. Night has arrived. The garden exists now only where warm light from the home reaches it. Soft golden pools touch the nearest foliage and stone, creating small islands of illumination within the darkness. Beyond these gentle circles, everything fades into soft shadow. The house becomes the source, the garden its quiet recipient. The space between them feels smaller, more contained, more completely theirs. The atmosphere is one of profound stillness, where the simple spill of domestic light creates an entire world. Nothing needs to happen. The light simply stays, holding the garden in gentle embrace through the hours of darkness. Before dawn, the world returns to cool neutrality. The garden waits in near darkness, only the faintest suggestion of blue touching the uppermost leaves. The home stands silent, its windows dark mirrors reflecting the returning sky. The path between them holds perfect stillness, preserved through the night. Every surface rests in the same patient arrangement, waiting without expectation. The atmosphere carries the deep calm that comes before light, when the world has not yet decided to wake. The enclosed space feels complete in its quietude, needing nothing beyond its own familiar presence. Light returns as gently as it left. Pale gold touches the garden first along its highest points, then slowly descends to greet the path and the home beyond. The cycle begins again without announcement or ceremony. The house receives the new day with the same quiet dignity it offered the last. Between them, the small garden holds space for this eternal conversation of light and shadow. The atmosphere remains one of perfect domestic peace, where every morning is met with the same calm acceptance, every evening released with the same gentle grace. And so the garden continues to face the home through another quiet morning. Light moves across familiar surfaces with the same unhurried tenderness it has always shown. The path, the planting, the wooden facade all rest in their proper places, complete in their simple relationship. The enclosed space holds its breath once more, allowing the atmosphere of stillness to settle completely. Nothing asks for more than this. The morning simply is, the home simply receives, and the garden simply remains between them in perfect, wordless understanding.